if you are ready to dig in, drop the word test, T-E-S-T, into the chat, and we are going to send you FDN's 3-step guide to getting real results for yourself and for your clients. I would love to know where you guys are joining us from today. If you have any questions for Jennifer or myself, absolutely drop them in the chat and we will get to those as well. Welcome to the Real Results Show, where every week we feature real health coaches and health practitioners getting real results for their clients and for themselves. I am Piper Gibson, your host and director of FDN course enrollment. And this week I am super excited to have with me Jennifer Woodward. Hey, Jennifer, how are you?
Hey, Piper, I'm great, thanks.
Awesome. So we are going to be talking today about how functional lab testing leads to effortless client referrals. And I think any of us who are working as a health coach or professional would love to know more about how lab testing can get us some more client referrals. So Jennifer, I would love to know what prompted you to become an FDN?
Sure. So my background's actually in medical. I was a pharmaceutical sales rep for 3 or 4 years, and I love just learning about the systems of the body. Prior to that, I grew up in a household where my mom had type 1 diabetes, and so I'd always had an interest in how food influences, illness and health. I just had learned about it from the time I was little, and so marrying that love and interest in nutrition with the functions and the systems of the body, the training that I learned from Abbott Laboratories, just kind of sparked this huge interest for me in how bodies actually work and how they respond to their environment. So many years later, after I had 4 kids, I realized it was a good time for me to go back and actually get my training, because I had gone through a lot of my own health issues, that most FDNs have gone through themselves, been to numerous doctors. No one would be able to help me with, my insomnia, my extreme hormonal imbalance, my thyroid issues, my gut issues. Everyone wanted to give me a different pill, and I didn't want to take any of those pills because I didn't feel like it was addressing the root of the problem. And so I listened to a webinar one day by an FDN and realized this whole new world existed where, people are practicing functional nutrition and looking at the body from a root cause state. So I asked my husband if he'd fund me. He said yes, and I was in.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. So I would love to know, how long did it take you to graduate, or when did you graduate, and how long did it take you to complete the course?
Yeah, I just had to look back. I graduated in 2016. Maybe I graduated in 2017, somewhere around there. It took me about 9 months to complete the course. I was homeschooling our 4 kids at the time, voluntarily. Now I'm homeschooling them involuntarily, but at that point we were doing it on purpose. So I do school with them in the mornings and afternoons, and then my FDN courses in the evenings.
That's too funny, because that's exactly how I went through FDN as well. I was voluntarily homeschooling 2 kids at the time. And so when I talk to people about FDN, I'm like, if I can do it and homeschool 2 kids, you can totally do it with a full-time job.
So true.
Yeah, absolutely. So how do you build your business? You've been an FDN for a while. So how do you go about building your practice?
Sure. So yeah, I started, and when you are getting healthier, it kind of exudes out of you. And so people started asking me about my coursework. They started asking me why I had more energy, why I was looking better, why, I wasn't as grumpy. Well, that was just my husband that asked me that. And so naturally, you start kind of becoming a walking billboard. And so as I graduated FDN, I had already a couple clients that were lined up, and I wasn't confident yet in charging them, but I worked with a few of them going through, I took really detailed notes in my graduate session with Brandon, so I could just copy it word for word while I was meeting with my first couple clients. And I did that, and, really rapidly just kind of evolved into, working with the kind of clients I actually wanted to work with. So, as most of us have to do, I learned everything myself, and I researched business practices and how to become a viable business in California on one side of, my practice. And then on the other side, I was taking somewhere between 1 and 5 new clients a month, just trying to build up my clinical skills using what I'd learned in FDN to start making progress with a lot of those clients. So most of my clients come through word of mouth. Now I am gaining some traction in social media. So, Instagram, Facebook, I have found that the best way to grow my business is to grow a free community. So that's what I've really been working on over the past few months. I did hire a business coach to help with that. And I think that's been a good investment, really trying to narrow down who I want to practice with and how to do that. But, the takeaway here is to grow your community and give a lot of value to people so they see you as an expert. And then you can give a lot to people that way. Not everyone can afford your services, but everyone can benefit from your knowledge.
100%. I think that's awesome. And I think that's something that a lot of FDNs really do to build their practices, kind of create that community. And I think that's really important because people want to feel a part of something and they want to relate to what's going on, especially with their health and other people.
Yeah, they like being heard, being able to ask questions.
Absolutely. So Sunny, hi Sunny, or Scott Mel. Hi Sunny, hi Scott Mel. She says, this is exactly me now, homeschooling while trying to school myself, not an easy feat. It is not an easy feat, but if we can do it, you can do it.
You can do it.
Absolutely do it. That's the great part. If you guys are just joining us, I have Jennifer Woodward with me on the Real Results Show, and you can drop the word test into the chat and we are going to send you our 3-step guide. And if you have any questions, absolutely let us know. We will get to those as well. One of the big topics today is going to be about functional lab testing. How has functional lab testing and the FDN approach help you to solve your clients' cases?
Yes. This was one of the main things that also got me into FDN. I told you my husband financed my education for me, but this was the linchpin in having him be okay with me pursuing this career choice. We had one of our sons was severely allergic and was breaking out into eczema, getting worse and worse and worse over a period of 2 years. And we've gone to doctors again, naturopaths, and we got no relief from my son's symptoms. And it would crack and bleed. I remember him being out in the backyard and he'd be playing in the hose and his skin would start cracking and bleeding. I thought, oh, is he allergic to water? And so finally we went to a chiropractor who did some blood testing on him, similar to the MRT, the ELISA Act. And we found conclusively that his blood was reacting to not only dairy, but also chlorine. So that solved our problem. And by taking out some of those, triggers, we were able to clear his skin. And so we are, in this house, I run every test I have access to on every member of my family. We all love it. And then, clients really appreciate being able to test and not guess because as all of our clients are coming to us sort of as a last resort. They've been to all these doctors and other health practitioners, and without having quantifiable data, they really have nothing to go off of. So time and time again, especially running things like the Dutch test and the GI map and the hair tissue mineral analysis, we've been able to pull this data, that's just been lurking there in their bodies for maybe decades and start to, really balance and nourish their body according to the data we get on the test. So I'm a huge proponent of test, don't guess. And I've had multiple women break down in tears actually in my office because they tell me, I thought it was all in my head, or people told me I was crazy, and here I am. I have a Giardia infection. It's not something in my head, or I've got no estrogen. No wonder, I'm so tired all the time, or I don't have a normal period. So testing and not guessing is really what sets us apart as FDNs from the rest of the holistic community. And I love that we have access to the testing that we do.
I totally agree with you. And I would love to know, do you feel that being able to provide this testing gets you more referrals because you have more client success?
Yeah, absolutely. That's where a lot of my true referrals do come from. Women will say, I heard you ran this test on my friend or my mom. I would love to run that test, and I routinely teach women, for instance, using the Dutch test, you can't get a serum estrogen level that is a real indicator of what's going on in the body because estrogen's bound up in your fat tissue. So if we can look at urine metabolites with something like the Dutch test, we have a much better picture of what's actually going on with your hormones. And then we can start to, balance the body out accordingly. So it's one of the big draws for my practice because, again, women have gone to their doctors. They've had all the regular labs run. Their doctors tell them, your labs look fine, therefore you're fine. And so, women will come and say the same thing. My doctor told me my labs are fine, but you don't look at those the same way, right? And I say, nope, I don't. And we have other options for functional lab testing that gives us a lot more information.
Yeah. You know, I think, and it's probably similar for all FDNs, but you know, that lab testing, people would just, they call me, they email me, hey, you know, I was talking to my friend, I was talking to my sister, and you know, how can you help me? I heard you did this testing, and it was really kind of everything. The whole process was life-changing. So
yeah, life-changing is always a good phrase to hear.
Yes, it is. We have a super tight FDN community, and I would love to know how they have supported you in your business and your health endeavors on your FDN journey.
Yeah, I never felt alone while I was going through the courses. My mentor was excellent. Getting to do the practicals and the time I got with Brandon was also excellent. I felt very comfortable and confident in graduating from the FDN program just because of the level of support I got. Even with, you know, back office things, I'd send out an email, I'd get a response within an hour. So I just always felt really cared for. When I graduated, I joined FDN-P, and I was able to ask any questions I had. And again, people are chiming in all the time. I find that to be a huge, just a benefit for being an FDN, to be part of that community with all of these practitioners going off in all these different directions, but still being trained in the dress protocol. So, you know, everyone's cultivating their own areas of expertise, and you've got so many brains to pull from. I loved getting to post questions on the forum and get answers, and just kind of dig around and look at other people's questions to give me more confidence in my own practice. So I love the support here, and I'm glad to be back.
Let's talk a little bit about the Association for Functional Diagnostic Nutrition Practitioners. You are going to be working very closely with them as the new AFDN-P director. So I would love to know, like, do you have big dreams, big ideas for what you want to do with AFDN-P? Because I'm excited.
I am thrilled. I cannot believe it. I'm so happy to be here. I do have big dreams. I know that coming out of FDN, the clinical side of my practice was set. I knew what I was doing. I felt confident in, you know, attracting clients and then serving them. I didn't feel as confident in building a business and just going through, you know, step by step, making sure that I crossed all my T's, dotted all my I's, and was doing everything in a compliant fashion on one side, but then also, you know, getting into things like branding and niche marketing and, you know, networking. Those were things that I wasn't super confident in. So going through my own business training and what I've learned the past, you know, 3-4 years growing a successful business is something that I want to bring to AFDN-P to help train new graduates to really thrive in building their own business and finding out, you know, quicker than I had to do, where they need to go, again, from a branding and business perspective, to really build a viable and thriving practice. So I'll be building out the business side, and I can't wait.
That's super exciting. I think that that's really going to be a great tip or tool for anybody who joins the association. So as a functional diagnostic nutrition graduate, you have the opportunity to join the Association for Functional Diagnostic Nutrition Practitioners. And I will tell you that I've been a member since I graduated, and I have learned so much with all of the different trainings, the clinical trainings, the business trainings, the health detective, you know, hour, everything that is covered in AFDN-P has really helped me to grow as a practitioner.
I definitely agree with that. Yeah, I can't believe I left out the trainings, but all the webinars are bar none. They're fantastic.
They really are. Do you have a particular niche or ideal client that you work with?
Yes, I work with women ages 25 to 55 to fix their period problems. So it's more hormonal imbalance, but not a lot of people know exactly what you mean when you say, I work with women who have hormone imbalance. They're like, well, does that mean? But if I say I work with women who have period problems, they're like, oh, I have endometriosis. Oh, I have PCOS. Oh, I'm infertile. So now we're starting to, you know, really drill down to who I want to work with as my ideal client. And that's really served me well over the last, you know, 6 to 8 months.
Awesome. I love that. Thanks. I love that it's easy to identify.
Well, it's not easy, actually. It took like 3 years to get there, but I'm glad it finally happened.
Yeah, that's great. So are you full-time, part-time, in-person, virtual? How do you work?
So now, because we're in Corona, as my kids say, my practice is completely online. I love it. I was working in a group with a bunch of chiropractors, and that was fantastic while it lasted. But moving my practice to Zoom only has been really great, and I've attracted a lot more clients actually, because a lot of my women, are moms, so they're home with their kids and they can't get out for 2 hours to an appointment. I work about 20 hours a week in my private practice, and now I'll be pulling, another 20, 25 hours a week for working for FDN. And my schedule is pretty flexible because, we're also homeschooling, as I said, but at least we're stuck here. It's not like we're running out to sports practices anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That makes a big difference when you're not chauffeuring 10 hours a week.
Doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. So how can interview listeners get in touch with you? What's your website, social media handles, email address?
Sure. My website is jenniferwoodwardnutrition.com. It's a mouthful, but it's my name plus nutrition. On Instagram, I'm on there every single day. I'm Jennifer Woodward Nutrition. And then on Facebook, I'm also on there every single day, Jennifer Woodward Nutrition. So I'm pretty easy to find, and my communities are pretty active. So if that interests you, hop on over. Right now, we're running a hydration challenge we have over 200 members in 2 weeks. It's really fun. Everybody needs more water.
That's really cool. I'm gonna have to go check that out.
Yeah, come on in.
Yeah, I need more water too.
Right.
Do you have a number one tip, tool, or resource, something that you have learned from FDN that really has made all the difference in maybe your personal health or even as a health professional that's really helped people to get real results?
Yes. Stick to the basics. What we are taught in FDN takes us so far. I have, delved off in, this avenue and that avenue. And every time I have to come back to really what I've been taught in FDN. Diet, rest, exercise, stress relief, supplementation is really where it's at. I feel like if you try to get cute with your business, you get worse results because these are tried, true, tested, and they're very, they're applicable ways for people to start changing habits, change their environment, and change their lifestyle. So I always come back to just, whether I'm working with clients, whether I'm talking to my kids, or whether I'm working on myself, what did we learn, what works, and what is simple, right?
Right. Do not reinvent the wheel. Just keep with the basics.
Yeah, keep it simple.
Is there a piece of advice you'd like to share with health coaches or other professionals who might be watching us right now?
I think health coaches and health professionals put their own health on the back burner a lot of the time. And I found myself there for a few years. And so during this time, especially, we're recording in May of 2020 and we're home for COVID. So take this time to really work on your own health. Something I teach all of my clients is the phrase, nourish yourself so that you can nourish those who depend on you. If you are nourished and you are balanced, then you're going to be a much better spouse, an employee, an employer, and philanthropist, and anything that is important to you, you can do it better when your cup is full. So especially if you're a health coach, don't pour out so much into other people that you're neglecting yourself. And then also don't take it personally when your clients don't get the results you want or they want. You're just the guide, you are the teacher, you hold the hand and lead the way, but you're not responsible for the results.
Yes, I love that. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink, right?
That's right.
But I love that. Like, make sure that you're nourished so that you can nourish other people. And I think that's true, especially now, especially with what we're going through. Moms are at home homeschooling and working, and dads are working, and everyone is so busy that I think it's really important to focus on, what do I need? What do I need?
Absolutely.
Do you have something that you would love to share with people who might be struggling to get results with their own health?
Yes. So, everything you put into your body has a chemical effect on the body. So if you're really struggling with your own health, again, keep it so simple. The first thing that you can do is just start by modifying your diet. And this is something else I say all the time. If your great grandmother ate it, eat it. If she didn't, it's not a food and it's not serving your body. So if you start there, and that takes away things like paleo, vegan, carnivore, plant-based, plant-based, it doesn't matter, what lifestyle you decide to engage in. Just remember that, if you can hunt it or gather it or pick it, it's a real food. And those are the kind of things that are going to start building health. When you start, by getting your diet in check, then we can absolutely start going down, all the other avenues of other ways that you can build healthy habits, but start first with the things that you're putting into your body, 2 to 5 times a day. Good, nourishing, whole foods.
Yeah. I will tell you that since starting to host this show and have on all these FDNs, I have picked up so many new colleagues and friends and soul sisters because I'm like, oh, what you're saying just resonates with me. It just gets me. And I know that a lot of the guests watching get that too. It's like, oh, I get, it just,
yeah,
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Oh, I love it. I'm really happy to be here. I can't wait to delve more into the FDN community.
Yes, we are super excited to have you.
Thanks, Piper.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show today to share the insights with others about how to get those long-term sustainable results for their clients and for themselves, right? Don't put yourself on the back burner.
That's right.
One more time, share with us how the audience can get in touch with you.
My website is jenniferwoodwardnutrition.com. And then I'm on Instagram as Jennifer Woodward Nutrition. I'm on Facebook as Jennifer Woodward Nutrition. You can just type me into Google and you'll see my glasses pop up. So you can go off my social media channels anywhere there, but really use me. I have a lot of free resources that I provide all the time. I've got full meal plans. I have a 7-day guide that I created for coronavirus times called Simpler Times, a plan for, a 7-day meal plan for busy families that just shows you really easy ways to use what you have in your pantry, use what you can get at the grocery store, during crisis times, to still feed your family well, to move your body well, to nourish your body well. So I put those out pretty regularly, and I don't ask for an email address or anything. I just want to share it with you to help you build great health for yourself and family. So come on over, download it, join our hydration challenge, and get involved, because it is fun when your body is, properly nourished and balanced.
Fantastic. That's all fantastic. I'm super excited. Make sure to check out Jennifer. And we are so excited to have you as part of the FDN team. If you are watching and you are interested in becoming a true health detective so that you can also help others or help yourself on a deeper level, you can schedule a call with one of our FDN course counselors. That would be myself, Jess, or Kelly. And you can do that at functionaldiagnosticnutrition.com/counselor. Or if you are ready to enroll and jump in and dive in head first and become an amazing FDN, then you can do that at functionaldiagnosticnutrition.com/FB Live. And if you are watching the replay, make sure to drop the word test into the chat and we are going to send you our 3-step guide. So Jennifer, thank you once again for joining me. It was super awesome to have you and to just kind of dig in and find out all the exciting information you had to provide everyone today. So thank you again for coming on. And everybody, thank you for watching. I will be here again, same time, same place next week. So I hope that you join me. If you have questions, make sure to drop them in the chat. We'll see you guys next week. Bye, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Piper.
Thank you.